Okay, I think we are live. I am so sorry about that, everybody. I am so late. So I just got a new computer, which has been a great thing because for like editing and stuff, exporting videos for sure, it's so much faster. And I thought I got it all set up and ready to do this thing. But the weirdest thing happened, and maybe you guys know what the deal is. When I plugged my phone in to use as a webcam, which is now what I do for live streams, I at first got this really terrible webcam, and that's why my early live streams looked terrible. And then I figured out I could use my phone as a webcam, and I've been doing that ever since. But when I plugged my phone in, internet stopped working. No more Wi-Fi. And I could not figure out why. So I finally I brought out my old computer. I'm back on the old computer now. Very, very weird. So afterwards, I'm gonna have to figure that out. But it looks like a lot of you guys stuck around, so thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Let me see. Let's see. I had set up a couple of things on the old computer. I may have to. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. I had some. I'm gonna remove that. I had some pictures that I was going to show for one thing we were going to talk about. Let me see if I can get some music playing. It feels eerily quiet. I've set up some like old vintage Halloween tunes that I was going to play. We were going to have such a better beginning for this, I swear. And then things got all messed up. But hello, everybody. Welcome to the October 1st celebration. I really appreciate you guys being here. Because honestly, if we had a tiny turnout for this live stream, October 1st, tradition, you might watch Sleepy Hollow every October 1st or something like that. You never know. But thank you all so much for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and go through the chat real quick and say hi to people. We got David Jones. Yes, this also turned out to be a 40,000 subscribers celebration. So thank you all so much for joining the Cobwebs channel. Yeah, we got over 40,000 subscribers now. It's crazy. When I set this up, we weren't there, but now we are. So this is doubling as a celebration. Let me know if the music is too loud, by the way, or distracting or anything. I thought it might be fun. We got Monster Fan. Hell to Daniel, Master of Cobwebs. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. I am actually wearing the Jack-o'-lantern shirt. It's not just the thumbnail. Susan, hello. All right, cool. I'm sorry I was late. I hope you didn't get through your dinner already before I was even able to come on. Hamburger helper. I remember eating hamburger helper when I was a kid. I haven't had it in a long time. Yep, that's the plan. Glad I'm finally here. Thank you so much. Oh, awesome. Thanks. That's a good name. Very polite, at least. I'm very positive. Thank you so much, Brett. I really appreciate it. No, Ben. I don't always want to say Brett. I think it's the BET there in the first four letters. Drink a 40 for 40K subscribers. Maybe it is for you. I have no interest in doing that right now. I've just got some water. I thought about making some decaf coffee, but I didn't end up doing it. Interesting. I should have done a jump scare for sure. Thank you so much, Joan. Thanks for hanging on. That's right. That's what we are around here at the Cobwebs channel. We're creepy, kooky, mysterious, and spooky. Absolutely. My son loves to say spooky, but most of the time it comes out as kooky. So either way, it works. Good evening, fellow creatures of the night. Hello. We got 56 people in here. That's absolutely crazy. Favorite Halloween song? Oh my gosh. I'm obsessed with Halloween music. Like I have so many Halloween playlists that I listen to. Like my favorite right now is I'm really into like vintage Halloween music from like 20s, 30s, 40s. So like I've got a playlist on Spotify of that kind of stuff. Sometimes I look up compilations of it on YouTube. There are quite a few, and just listen to those. I mean, some of my favorites right now. I mean, Sleepy Headless Horseman by Bing Crosby is perfection. I just discovered The Wobblin' Goblin by Rosemary Clooney, and it's amazing. It's not on Spotify, which stinks, but you can find it on YouTube, and it's like a perfect Halloween song. Spooks by Louis Armstrong, absolute perfection. Bewitched by Steve Lawrence, perfect. Oh, yeah, there's this one called Batman, Wolfman, Frankenstein, and Dracula. I forget the name of the band. It's a band back in the 50s, and it's like the most fun song. There's so many great old Halloween songs. I love them so much. But then I also listen to like some more modern Halloween music too. I mean, more modern. It's usually like the 80s. No, there's some more modern stuff actually that I like too. Now that I think about it. Hello, Barnabas. Thank you so much for dropping in all the way from Collinwood. That's quite a drive. I appreciate that you made it. Let's see. Cinemassacre taught me about the history of horror, covering everything from the German Expressionism of the 20s to the Universal's golden age of the 30s and 40s. You helped me too. Thank you. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Sheena. Yeah, Cinemassacre. I mean, they're probably the first people to have like a big video on YouTube on Hammer, because they did like a big Hammer Dracula video, probably a Hammer Frankenstein video too. I don't remember for sure, but yeah, they did that a long time ago. So they're OGs for sure. Good evening, the Boogeyman's Closet. Audio is choppy. Okay, is anybody else experiencing that? Let me know, because maybe the music is messing with it and I may just have to turn it off. I do like it though. Hello, Aslan. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I got accused in a comment recently of being too US centric, and I'm like, and it was by a British person, and I'm just like, man, I talk about so many British films on this channel. I don't know how to make people happy. Getting cozy right now. Some snacks, watching Halloween 4 and 5. Perfect. Yes, Halloween 4 is one of the coziest films ever made. I actually got to the point recently where like I was watching it like in the background, like while I do other things so much. Like it was such a go-to to just put on Halloween 4 that like I felt like I was ruining it. And I was like, I need some distance from this movie so I can come back to it and sit down and give it its due. All on its own, because I do really love Halloween 4. I think it's amazing. It's my favorite of the Halloween sequels for sure. That's wonderful. Thank you. I love hearing that. I love people that hear people watch Cowboys with the kids. That's why that's one reason that I keep the channel very family friendly, is I do want this to be like a good place for kids to enjoy too, who, you know, some old spooky stuff. Not to say that I won't talk about some more hardcore movies, because I certainly will, but I still keep the channel pretty kid friendly. Thank you, Boogeyman. I appreciate you. All right. Sounds good. RVA playlist. I appreciate that. Thank you, Obsolete Elite. I appreciate that. That I mean, I think I said in the video, but that video was a passion project. I've wanted to do that video for a long time. I watched a lot of movies to prep for it, and rewatched some, quite a few too, to make sure the placement was right. I felt right about it. So I did put a lot into that. That video even has original music. The music you hear in that, my dad recorded for me specifically for that video, because I asked him. I sent him a piece of music from The Witch, the Robert Eggers film. I was like, can you make me something like this? And he gave me that, and I put it in there. Lasagna and garlic bread, fantastic choice. Love that. Thank you. These are matching pajamas that me and my wife and my toddler son all have. We got them. We got them for like a spooky movie day back in like July. Yeah, absolutely. Should make a coffee brand called Cobweb Coffee. I'd love that. I don't know anything about making coffee. I'd have to partner with somebody, but it would be so cool. Love it. Like one YouTube channel that I love, and it has nothing to do with movies at all, is Trout and Coffee. And he's just this guy, and his girlfriend, and they live like out in the woods in New England. And it's just like their lives living out there and exploring nature and building things and drinking a lot of coffee. And it's like the most relaxing channel in the world. And they have their own coffee. So be very cool to do something like that. Man, D-Bow, I would love to talk about The Substance, but I've not seen it. I really want to. It played in my theaters briefly. I just didn't have the time. It's just hard to make the time sometimes to get out, especially when you have a kid, a little kid, that is. And man, I missed it. So I'm sad. I was checking today, like, when is it going to hit streaming? Looks like there isn't a date yet, but I do really want to see that movie. I've heard it's fantastic. It looks up my alley. Because like when it comes to like new horror movies, I find I gravitate the most to the stuff that is weird and crazy, and it seems like The Substance fits that. Right on. Good evening, Wayne Butler. We have 82 people in here. This is the biggest stream I've ever done. This is insane. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it. I guess I should like kind of introduce what this stream is. I mean, it really is mostly just to hang out with you guys, answer your questions, any questions that you guys might have, anything you want to talk about. Because I haven't done a live stream in a couple of months. I've been wanting to do them, but gosh, it's been like every evening, because like my evenings are so precious, because that's when I can work on the channel. It's like I gotta watch something, I gotta film something, I gotta like finish editing on this video. It's been really hard to make time for live streams, but really, really glad we're doing this today. So we're here to hang out, but also I do want to talk about what I'm anticipating for October. So in terms of new movie releases and physical media releases, just stuff I'm excited for. We're going to talk about that. Would love to hear from you guys about what you're excited for. Maybe some stuff I'm not aware is coming out. That would be very, very cool. And yeah, that's mostly what we're going to do. So it's going to be relaxed. It's going to be chill. It's going to have a good time. Do you have a playlist of haunted houses? As in music, I mean, I have quite a few haunted house songs on my like playlist. Like, I mean, This House is Haunted by Mel Torme, which is like technically not a haunted house song. It's a metaphor for a breakup, but it works. There's another song just called Haunted House. I have no idea who does it. It's just like this little novelty song from the 50s. I actually feel like music's a little loud in my ears. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. There we go. I'm assuming that me playing this music is okay because it's from like the 1920s. So I'm assuming, you know, that YouTube's not going to be upset about that, but we'll find out. We'll find out. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. I really appreciate that, U.S. government. You know what? I do my best. I really do. I appreciate it. Ghostbusters favorite song, Superstitious Stevie Wonder. Absolute classics. Yeah, you got to have them. You got to have them on your Halloween playlist for sure. Okay, Jan Terry's Get Down Goblin. I'm going to make a note of this real quick because I am serious about Halloween music. Like, I really am. So I'm going to make sure I don't forget that. So I'm going to go look that up after the stream. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hello, CJ. 1419. HALLO on the Daggum record player. I haven't heard of that one either. Right on. Yes, Bing's version of Headless Horseman is amazing. Also, oh gosh, there's this woman that does a cover of it back in the 40s too. I think her name was like Cat something. Cat Ellis? I don't know, but it's back in the 1940s, and she has a really good cover of it too, and it is on Spotify. Head tuckered underneath her arm. Yes. I can't remember how it goes right now, but I know that title. I know I have listened to it. Yeah. I love that old, like, vintage 30s, 40s music Halloween vibe. It's my favorite. It's so good. My other favorite kind of spooky music. I know, you know, when it comes to like horror, spooky themed music, I mean, metal takes up the whole conversation. People only talk about metal, and I'm not a big metal guy. Like, there's some metal I like. Like, I do like Ghost. I enjoy Ghost. They're kind of like a very retro 80s kind of metal, which is more so what I gravitate to if I listen to metal. But I'm not a big metal guy. But I like the old vintage stuff from 30s and 40s. But I also love spooky country. Sometimes it's called gothic country. Sometimes it's called spooky banjo music. I love that. Like these old country songs about like the devil or ghosts or witchcraft. Like, love that kind of stuff. Huge fan of that kind of music. Oh, like, what's that? Oh, Murder by Death. Murder by Death is a great gothic country band that I'm a big fan of. Oh, you're trying to get a channel going. The Boogeyman's Closet's a great name. A fantastic name. I'm going to have to look you up after that. It is a lot of work. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, you know, it's cool that I've hit some success, you know, on the channel, but like I put a lot of work into it. So it takes that. I think it really takes that to be successful on YouTube. Like, you have to treat it like a job, and I absolutely treat it like a job, a fun job, a job I love, a job that I am happy to do anytime I do it. But I do take it super seriously, and that's what you got to do. So I hope it works out for you, man. I really do. I said, man, I don't actually know. I'm sorry for assuming. But I will look up your channel for sure. See what you got going on. Like I said, that's a fantastic name. I love that. Huge Hammer and Jalo watch list this month. That's great. That's a great vibe. I'm excited because I haven't seen as many as I thought. Very, very cool. That's good. You know, 60s, 70s European kind of thing you got going on. It all works. Oh, I already clicked that one. Yes, I do. I do like Mark of the Vampire from 1935. I believe I did have it on my top 20 1930s horror movies list. You know, I don't totally love the ending. It's a little bit of a letdown. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm not mad about it. You know, I understand what they're going for. I understand that that movie is kind of intended to be a little bit of a spoof of Todd Browning's Dracula, you know, like not totally spoof, but like a little bit. But like, it is such an awesome vampire movie. And like, Bela Lugosi is great in it. But like, whoever plays his daughter in that movie, the daughter vampire, she is so creepy. And I just remember there's this incredible shot where she like flies into their castle and you like see her wings flapping and then she lands. And the effect is shockingly good. Like, I look at it and I'm like, I don't really know how they did that in 1935. Like, it looks so good. Then the ending's a bit of a letdown, but it's good. And Lionel Barrymore as like the Van Helsing type character, he's hilarious. Like, he's just like so packed with energy. He's so fun. So yeah, I definitely like it. I was really happy I was able to get on Blu-ray from Warner Archive, because that's something my dad told me about for years, but he never showed it to me because we never had it on VHS or anything. So Warner Archive put it out. I was super happy to buy it and check it out. Timestamps. You know, I've gone back and forth on that. I'm starting to think about it. It seems, I mean, for one hand, it's definitely more work, and I'm already kind of pressed for time on getting these videos out because I'm going to have to go through and like find where everything starts. But then like, I'm a little worried that people aren't going to actually watch the videos and they're just going to like, just check, see like, okay, these are the movies, maybe just skip through, look at them. Okay, I'm out. And you know, I do kind of create the videos to be kind of a full entertainment experience. Like, that's what I try to make them. So I'm a little worried about that, but I have noticed some other bigger creators start doing it where they didn't do it before. Like, I recently noticed Ghost Pirate Entertainment started. Ghost Pirate Entertainment. I think I said that right. I really like his channel. He's kind of a similar channel to mine. And I noticed Sean Chandler Talks About just started doing them. He didn't used to do them either. So I'm like, well, maybe it is okay. Like, maybe it doesn't ruin, like, people will still watch your videos if you do that. So I'm thinking about it. I'm open to your guys' feedback. Hey, we got Garrett from Born to Be Rad. Hey man, so good to see you. Happy October, best month of the year. You got to appreciate every October you get. You never know how many more Octobers you're going to get. You always got to appreciate them. Why haven't you featured any British horror movies channel ever? I know, right? Also, like, their point was like, you're too US centric. You should be thinking about my country of Britain. And I'm like, well, you're just thinking of your country. Like, I imagine most people probably think of their own country first. But I talk about British horror so much. I was just like, oh, come on. Retiring on October 31st. We'll have time to watch all your recommendations. Thanks for posting for us. Congratulations. That is a wonderful thing. I think that's awesome. Yes on Current Echo, no on Onibaba. And I know I need to. And like, literally already, I've got a whole other folk horror list made. Mostly of movies I haven't seen. So like, there were some folk horror movies I didn't get a chance to see before I made the video. Some just didn't make the list. But I got a lot of recommendations from the comments of that video. And I've got like, I think already like 15 other folk horror movies on a list. And I'm really excited to watch more of those and then make like a follow-up folk horror list. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I really want to do it. Onibaba will definitely be one. But Current Echo I have seen. It's been a while. I find most like Japanese films from the 50s and 60s pretty slow. There are some that I've just loved, like Seven Samurai, obviously. I mean, Seven Samurai is awesome. And Harry Carey by Kobayashi, who's the same guy who made Kwaidan, is amazing. What an incredible film. I have a lot of other Japanese films from that era. They feel just a little too slow for me. And Current Echo, I kind of felt that way about, even though it does have some really cool moments. But I think, you know, it may be something you got to get used to, you know, and I have been getting more and more into Asian cinema lately. So I'm probably due for a rewatch on it, but I definitely want to see Onibaba first. We have over 100 people in this live stream. That's never happened. Never happened. Thank you all so much for joining me. So glad I had your channel recommended a few months back. I'll just subscribe. Thank you so much, Christine. I appreciate it. That just makes me think of Arnie and Christine. Christine! I'm talking about Christine, man. It's a horrible Arnie impression. Want to thank you so much for videos. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate that. A retro themed cafe in North New Jersey. I've been playing your videos lately on the big screen during my days. That's crazy. Thank you. I can't imagine the channel playing on TVs in an actual business. Thank you. Wow, that blows me away. That's awesome. Yeah, Retro Thing Cafe, New Jersey. Man, I would love to live on the East Coast. I tell you what, I live in the Midwest, and the Midwest is my second favorite area of the country. So, like, if I'm not on the East Coast, I'm glad to be in the Midwest. I do like it here. But man, living in New England, I don't know if New Jersey is technically New England or not. I'm honestly not sure. That would be my dream. That'd be so cool. I love that area. Oh, absolutely. The Swan Lake theme. I mean, nothing says vampires to me more than that Swan Lake theme. That's why, like, when I saw Abigail, that new vampire movie that came out this year, and it opens with that piece of music, I was like, they know what they're doing. You know, like, I'm in good hands. They know how to do a good vampire movie. And they did. It was a good one. October Rust type O negative. I'm not sure I get it. Yes, that's it. K-Star. Absolutely. Yeah, I really like that version as well. In fact, for a long time, that was on all my Spotify playlists because the Bing Crosby version wasn't on Spotify, but it got added like maybe like last Halloween. And that was a big deal for me. That was a big day. I'm such a nerd. Oh, yeah. You're on the East Coast. You lucky man. Good for you. Boris Karloff, are you one of the frightened stories? I'm not sure. I have heard some of those Boris Karloff radio play radio shows. A lot of them are on Spotify, and the Bela Lugosi ones. Like, there's this Bela Lugosi one that my dad and I crack up about because he loves it too, where like the whole thing is he's a scientist who has this theory that people can be pushed to kill if they're frightened enough, and he just says like over and over again, I have this theory, and it's kind of funny, but it's awesome. Let's see. My boyfriend and I are new to your channel. We love the videos so much based on a lot of Halloween movies. Quite a few of your recommendations. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Also, I love the idea of people watching the channel with their kids, but also watching with their significant others. I think that's wonderful as well. Oh, absolutely. Devil Went Down Georgia. Classic. Throwback Cafe. Well, that's a great name. Fantastic. St. James of Fermi is a great jazz tune, preferably Louis Armstrong version. Okay. I'm not sure about that. I'll have to look that one up too. Married with Media. Hello, Ken and or Michelle. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. It Came in the Night by A Raincoat. I'm gonna make a note. I'm gonna make a note of that one as well. I'm gonna be added to my playlist. Let's see. Is it possible to get the 3 cuts of Dawn of the Dead with several trailers, European and domestic? Well, I believe the version I have has the 3 cuts. You can see it right there. The second sight version. That has 3 cuts. I've still only watched the theatrical cut though. I still haven't ventured out, so I probably should. But yeah, I believe it has it all. Watched Asylum last night. So good. The crawling limbs is so creepy. Yeah, I love that, especially the head at the top of the stairs breathing. It's so much more effective than if it didn't have the tarp over it, because if it was just like it did somebody's head, you've seen that in movies a million times, but with the tarp over it, you can't see what's underneath, and it's pretty creepy. So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Checked out a copy of Horror Dracula. Really good. Oh, good. I'm so happy to be turning people onto that movie. That is, oh, by the way, speaking of Horror Dracula, I did just get in my NECA figure. NECA just released a Hammer Dracula figure, and like, this has been, I did a whole unboxing of this on Patreon, by the way. And this has been my dream ever since childhood. Like, ever since I was a little kid, I have wanted so bad a Christopher Lee Dracula figure. And it didn't really exist back then. I think there was one that was like 12 inches that was like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. It was totally unattainable for me. But now I have it, and it looks so good. The likeness is great. It's got 2 other heads that you can attach. One with just his normal face, and one where he's full on just like mouth wide open, teeth bared. This is kind of the middle ground face. I really love it. This thing means so much to me. I'm so happy to have it. Discover your channel just in time for October. Thanks for many great film recommendations. Beyond the movies of Pumpkin Spice, what Halloween festivities do you most look forward to? Oh, that's a great question. So I really love like fall festivals. Especially like at farms and stuff. There's this one farm nearby that has a great one, and they just got a lot of great atmosphere and pumpkins. All right, they have a pumpkin patch, they have a hay ride, they have like a corn pit. It's really, really fun. So I love that. I do love haunted houses, but I haven't been in a while because last Halloween I had a baby. Halloween before that, my wife was pregnant. So we haven't been in like 3 years now. And I would love to go this year. It kind of depends because we're still struggling to get the kid to go down to sleep for anyone else. So he'd have to have a babysitter later than he ever has. But I would love to go to another haunted house because I love haunted house attractions. Absolutely just adore them. Because like, I mean, it's just like walking through special horror movie special effects. Like that's how it is for me. And practical effects. And I just love that so much. But yeah, let's see. Beyond those and movies, because obviously movies is huge. I mean, beyond just normal movies, this year and last year too, I'm going to a 24-hour horror marathon in Chicago. I went last year. I did a whole vlog about it, so you may have seen that on the channel. It's at the Music Box Theater. Because my buddy used to live in Chicago, and so I went with him. He lives near me now, which is cool. He moved over here, but we're still going to drive over there and meet up with some people and watch horror movies in the theater for 24 hours. So I'm really excited about that. That's just in like a couple of weeks now, which is crazy. David Warner be a good Dr. Loomis at the remix in the 90s instead of 2007. Oh, absolutely. He would have killed it. David Warner, he's good at everything. I love David Warner. Yeah, for sure. We got Davey Deathray in the house. Hey, everyone. Congrats on 40K, Daniel. Thank you so much. About to kick the October viewing off with Pumpkinhead. Over 100 degrees in the desert. We got to get the show on the road. It was a high of 72 where I live today. Like, perfect. It was a beautiful day. Had the windows open, breeze coming in. It was so good. It was a great October 1st. Don't mean to brag. I'm sorry. But Pumpkinhead is a fantastic choice. I love that movie. Jury viewpoint on retro horror. Keep up the viewing observations on films. Absolutely will. Thank you. Yep. Scary movies and better weather. 100%. Just finished watching Frankenstein Created Woman. I enjoyed it a lot more than the first time. Good. Yeah, I love that movie. It's so weird. Like you hear the title, oh, a movie's called Frankenstein Created Woman. You would never in a million years guess what that movie is. Like, it is nothing like you would expect. It's very strange, but I love it. Forgive me, answered this already, but do you remember your first Halloween costume? Well, not that I remember, but I know my first Halloween costume was a clown. I was just a few months old, but my parents dressed me up in a clown costume, and I had a big wig that was like, rainbow colored, and they took me around trick-or-treating and such. But like, earliest I can remember, probably Dracula. Most years I was Dracula or Batman. I was Spider-Man once, and I was also a skeleton once, which is one of my coolest costumes. It was a pretty cool skeleton costume. But as far as childhood, those are the only ones I can remember. Oh, holy cow. Let's see. I got to figure out how to do this. Oh, we've got 3 super chats. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. I forget super chats exist. Thank you so much. I wasn't expecting any. Carlos Chavez for $4.99. I found your channel recently and really love your content. Have you seen Summer of '84? That would be on my suburban horror list. Thank you so much, Carlos. And yes, I have, and I really like it. I just didn't put it on the list because I put those 10 ahead, but honestly, like, it could have been number 10 instead of the Stepford Wives. Like, it totally could have. I think it's really good. I love the ending. Love the ending of that movie. I was not expecting a movie like that to end like that. And that was ballsy. I thought that was really, really cool. So, yeah, I quite like it. I saw it for the first time actually pretty recently. Robert Hart, just $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry I didn't get to these earlier. I forget super chats are a thing, so I'm not used to getting them. Discovered your channel just in time for October. Thanks for so many great film recommendations beyond the movies. Oh, yeah, you asked me that. So I did get to this one, so that's good. But thank you so much for throwing it in like that. That's so nice of you. And we have got, it's spooky season. Pick up a horror movie on me. Appreciate all the hard work you put in the videos. Thank you so much, Barnabas. I'll do that. Thank you. He is the nicest vampire. I tell you what, he's a reluctant vampire. He doesn't want to drink people's blood, but he's got to do it. It's called the natural food chain, for crying out loud. Let's see. And greetings from Kingston, Ontario. In the horror vein, the street scenes in Crimson Peak were filmed here in Kingston. Cool. I love Crimson Peak. Very awesome. I'm just going to vent about comments. I got a comment on my haunted house video where I praised Crimson Peak and said, because I like Crimson Peak, you support, I don't even know if YouTube wants me to say the word, but Incest, because that is in the movie. And like, oh, that's sick that you just support that. And I'm like, aren't those the villains in the movie that do that? I get the weirdest accusations sometimes based on movie taste. It's so odd. We got another super chat. Nasty Porch, $40. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I can't even believe that. You're killing it, man. Love watching your 60s, 70s horror covers the most, but never miss an episode of yours. Happy October, man. Well, I'll tell you what. And I'd like to tell you I'm doing this just because you put in the super chat, but it's not true. I was planning it already. My top 30 1970s horror movies is going to come in October. I've been going decade by decade, got 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. It's time for the 70s. So that is going to hit in October. So I'm excited to do that. Love the 70s. If you can't tell, I'm sure you can based on my content. Let's see. Is the Spanish version of Dracula better than Lugosi, do you think? You know, I'll be honest. I've never made it through the Spanish version. I understand, like, the amount I watched, I could tell, like, yeah, the camera movement is more advanced. It just doesn't work without Lugosi, I don't think. Like, when it comes to that version of Dracula, like, Lugosi is the show. And Dwight Fry, too. And without them, it doesn't work for me. And, like, I don't like that guy who plays Dracula. And I'm just so attached to Lugosi. And, like, I know the 1931 Dracula is not a perfect movie. Like, I get that. But, like, I'm just so attached to that movie, you know? It means so much to me. I couldn't get into the Spanish version. So my answer is definitely no. Oh, Typo Negative, October Rust is a beautiful record. Oh, that's a song. Okay, I didn't know what you were talking about. Okay, Typo Negative, October Rust. I'm just going to pull up one of these sticky notes and start making notes of these. There we go. Perfect. Halloween playlist is going to go off. Oh, here we go. What's your all-time favorite horror movies? I mean, I talked about most of them on the channel. Like, some people ask me sometimes to, like, just do a list of, like, your top whatever number favorite horror movies of all time. And I should do that, but the thing is, I've pretty much talked about them all. Like, that's why they're my favorites. They come up all the time for me. But, like, Fright Night, the original The Wolfman, John Carpenter's Halloween, Horror of Dracula, Curse of Frankenstein, Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula, Sleepy Hollow, Nightmare on Elm Street, of course, and then, of course, the Universal Monsters, Frankenstein, and Dracula 2. I mean, gosh, there's so many for me. I love From Beyond so much by Stuart Gordon. An American Werewolf in London, huge favorite for me. There's just so many. There's so many. So, but I've talked about these movies a lot for the most part, but I should do that. I should do that video. Hey, we got Mel from My Killer Podcast. What's up? Oh, not too much. Thank you so much for dropping in, Mel. I appreciate it. Oh, cool. You watched Crimson Peak on my recommendation. Thank you. Universal Monsters magazines are. I don't think so. I mean, I know like Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine and Fangoria. I'm not sure about that one. K-Stars, everybody's waiting for the Man in Bag of Freaking Incredible 2. Definitely. And I love Black Christmas 06. I honestly do. I don't understand why that movie's not on Blu-ray. That seems like such a prime Scream Factory release. Like, is it held up in rights issues? Because I haven't heard if it is. But I don't know, like Scream Factory, that is such a gimme for you. It's such an obvious good pick for you. But yeah, I like that song too. A lot of good versions of that song. I love Christmas music too. People complain like, oh no, the stores are playing Christmas music. I like Christmas music. Not now, but during that time of year. Let's see. I'll take a pic of your channel playing and post on my Instagram tomorrow. I'll tag you. Check it out if you like, man. That would be awesome. Yes. Okay, I will look you up. Throwback Cafe on Instagram. That would be so cool to see. We got another Daniel. Great name. You should compliment your parents on that. I love October Rest album. They're best. Okay, cool. I'll check that out. Have you seen any of Japan's Universal Monsters films like Frankenstein versus Baragon? The Invisible Man appears in Toe's Bloodthirsty trilogy. I have seen the first two in the Bloodthirsty trilogy. I never saw the third one, which was Lake of Dracula and the Vampire Doll, I want to say. I believe those are the titles. I have seen those. I still need to see the third one. They do, like, they're slow for sure. Like, they're way slower than the Hammer ones are, like, for sure. But they have incredible vampire moments when they hit. Like, the imagery is just crazy. I would like to talk about those in a video one of these days. I haven't seen The Invisible Man or Peers. I've always been tempted to get that Arrow video, but and like the Arrow video release of that, and it also has, I think, The Invisible Man and The Fly, the Human Fly. I'm curious about that. Never heard of Frankenstein versus Baragon for sure. I was thinking about doing a video on like 5 Japanese horror films to watch for a beginner, but the beginner will be me, and I will just pick 5 that I've never seen and then watch them and talk about them. And that might be valuable to some people to like hear about, like actual beginners can watch an actual beginner talk about it. So I might do that one of these days. It is a cool Dracula figure. Favorite boutique movie distributor? Yeah, it's definitely Vinegar Syndrome for me now. I mean, overall, all time, it's Scream Factory, because I definitely have the most Scream Factory. It's my biggest boutique label collection. And I have so much appreciation for Scream Factory because they introduced me to so many movies. I first got into them probably 10 years ago now. So I've probably been collecting them for about a decade. And overall, but in terms of what's going on right now, it is Vinegar Syndrome. I really like the discovery path they put me on. They release the stuff I've never heard of. Sometimes stuff that I know, but for the most part, stuff I've never heard of. And I just check it out. And most of the time, I'm happy to have seen it. Like a lot of people talk about how Vinegar Syndrome mostly releases a lot of garbage. It's not really my experience. So I think the people that say that haven't watched hardly anything from Vinegar Syndrome. They just look at the titles. They think, I've never heard of that. That's probably cheap garbage. And they just kind of write it off. But then I think some people aren't as accustomed to weird low budget stuff as I am. I don't like weird low budget stuff enough, as much as I do at least. So, but I love Vinegar Syndrome. I'm restarting the music. I think it stopped. Okay, there we go. But then let's see, are there any runner-ups? I've never been a big Arrow video guy. I know that's weird. I know they do a lot of great stuff, but like something about their aesthetics has never appealed to me. Like their original cover art, I don't really care for that much, like hardly ever. But I do have a fair amount of Arrow video. You know, I got some Criterion and such. Let's see. Oh, we got another one. Any help you can give on channel advice would be much appreciated. Keep up the great work. I've actually thought about putting out a video on starting a YouTube channel advice. I don't know. It sounds kind of pretentious or presumptuous to me that like, oh, I know everything, blah, blah, blah. But I have done a lot of research on YouTube tips and such. So I honestly recommend that. Like there are so many YouTube channels out there that are dedicated to giving YouTube advice, and there's a lot of good information out there. And I've consumed a lot of it, so I've gotten a lot of ideas. But as far as a few tips right now, put a lot of work into your thumbnails. Like don't skimp on thumbnails. They're so important. Like spend a lot of time on them, figure out how to get them right. I highly recommend using Canva. But of course, if you have Photoshop, that's great too. I've always been a Canva guy, and they've done great for me. Put a lot of work in your thumbnails. Keep your intros short. Get into the content of your video as fast as you can. I have a rule that I stick to almost all the time, that I will get into the meat of the video within a minute. So like I won't preamble or intro for more than a minute almost ever. I have some exceptions out there for sure. But like get to the point as fast as you can, but also not at the expense of your personality. So don't like deliver information so quickly that you're not, letting your personality shine through. And then I assume you're talking about movies. I think it's worth your while to have some kind of specialty. Like I think it's probably safe to say my specialty is like it's old stuff, it's Hammer, it's classic horror, it's that kind of stuff. And I recommend that. I recommend not just talking about the mainstream horror stuff that everybody talks about, because people can get that anywhere, and they will. People will probably go to Cody Leach 9 times out of 10 for Friday the 13th rankings. It's just kind of how it is. So I recommend, if you don't already, and if you don't have a kind of weird, unusual area of film that you really love, then just like watch a lot, like experiment. That's another big advice, I think, is watch a lot of movies. Because that's another thing that like sometimes you can tell someone has a YouTube channel, but like you're not really sure the passion for film is really there. Like you really got to care about this. And I think like watch a lot of movies, watch a lot of different kinds of stuff. I love videos where people just talk about movies they're watching that are maybe a little bit more off the beaten path. Oh, let's see. I could go on and on. of some other things. Make sure you have a good mic, make sure you have decent aesthetics. You don't need to buy a fancy camera. I still use my iPhone. I want to get an Android, frankly, because iPhone keeps giving me trouble because they're so difficult to deal with sometimes. But yeah, I still just use my phone. It's fine. I think you should edit your videos. Not everybody does. Sometimes their videos, it's just one take. They don't use B-roll. They don't put in footage, and it works for some people. Like undoubtedly it does. But I think for the most part, you should edit your videos. Like I edit my videos because I don't think I'm so interesting that like I would keep people's attention without it. So I edit. But yeah, that's just some advice. And maybe I'll do a video on this one of these days. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Where was I at? Trying to find my place. There's a lot happening here. Oh wait. For a second there, I saw a comment. Oh man, I saw a comment I really wanted to address. I lost it. Okay, well, I'm just gonna keep going from where I was. Horror and cult movie lover here. YouTube recommended you just now. Really dig your vibe and the vibe of your community. Oh, cool. Thank you so much, Pink Apocalypse. Going to Brooklyn Horror Film Festival at the end of the month. Nice. That sounds very cool. Yeah, I don't know when I'll be in Brooklyn, but that is cool. 1990s Spirits. I haven't heard of that. Okay, I'll have to look that up. Thank you, Jason. Thank you for popping in, by the way. Abigail is fantastic. There's been a lot of talk of maybe a sequel, but I'd like to see a prequel, but the history of Abigail, all the hits she did for her father and their backstory. Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'd be down. It's amazing what a year for vampires this has been. Like, this might be the best year for vampire movies since 1987 when we got Lost Boys and Near Dark. Because you've got Abigail, The Vordelak, Nosferatu coming up. Salem's Lot is coming out on Thursday on HBO Max, which I'm so excited for. I can't believe how much vampire stuff is. And vampires were a joke for a long time. For a long time, the past 15 years, vampires were either for teen romance or they were for action comedies. And that's for the most part what you got. You got goofy vampires, you got vampires, with guns and punching and blah, blah, which is not. But horror vampires are back, and it's so cool. Just love it. Yeah, pretty much me too. Pretty much me too. Oh, you were Dracula as well at a young age. Cool. I had that Ben Cooper costume. I had to buy the new NECA figure, same costume I had as a kid. Oh, very cool, man. Very cool. Yeah, I got the NECA figure as well. Yeah, it's good stuff. I have a friend who hated it, so I didn't watch it for a little while, and then I watched it, and I was and then I talked to him. I was like, "What are you thinking, man? That movie is good." Oh, let's see. Finger Syndrome, love it. Synapse, they don't quite put out enough stuff to for me to say love it, but I have a fair amount of Synapse, so good stuff. I just watched the Synapse last night. Severin, hit or miss, but yeah, I'll always pay attention to Severin. I'll tell you that. Scream Factory, some Boogeyman's top boutique labels, definitely. Sneaker hit Indicator, not to be too slept on. Let's see. We got some people saying hi to each other. Underloved decade. See, is it? I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe overall, because there's definitely 5 to 10 70s horror movies that are some of the biggest classics ever. Might even beat the 80s classics as far as how beloved they are. But a lot of other 70s vampires, 70s vampires, but 70s horror movies go under the radar. So you may be right about that. By the way, hello 80s mate. I like your channel. So I'm sorry about the flooding you had to deal with. I watched your whole flooding video talking about that. I found it very, very interesting. So it's good to see you in here. Upcoming horror movies you most looking forward to? Yeah, let's. Oh, okay. I will get to that. I promise. But I saw the comment that I wanted to address. All right. I need to talk about this. I noticed you say adaptation all the time and then switch to adaptation. Being English Nazi, that made me happy. Love the channel, and I don't mind you saying autumnal at all. Yeah, okay, here's the thing. My whole life, I thought the word was adaptation, and no one has ever corrected me on it, ever, until I came to YouTube. And here's the thing. I came to YouTube, I started saying adaptation, like I always have, and people started correcting me on it. And I Googled it, and I swear to you, if you Google it, Google will tell you adaptation is another word for adaptation. So I was like, so it's just two different ways to say the same thing. And there's tons of that kind of stuff in the English language. So I was like, okay, well, I'm right. So I'm just going to stick to my guns on this. And I wouldn't back down from adaptation. And then it kept coming up and it got so annoying. I don't mean to say annoying, like those people were right. So like I was wrong to be annoyed. But I looked into it further and I found out, okay, adaptation refers to science, like evolution, like an adaptation in a species to become a slightly different species. And adaptation is referring to art. And it's like a movie adapted from a book. So I had to eat my words and I switched to adaptation. So it's kind of a funny saga for me. So yeah, I switched, and it's still funny. I still get comments on those older videos that are like, "Stop saying adaptation." And I'm just thinking like, "Oh, I have, but this video is a year old, so like, what am I gonna do?" Anyway, I'm glad you don't mind saying autumnal. I love that word. I didn't even know it was a weird word until I came to YouTube, and suddenly people were like, "Why is he saying that?" And I'm like, "That's a word. It's a good word." Let's see. How about a best horror movie list from the 1890s? There's too many to choose from. No, I don't know what that would be. I'm not the best silent film guy. I've seen some. I like Chaplin and Keaton. I tend to like silent comedies the best. But and a few silent horror movies like Nosferatu for sure, but I'm not a big silent guy. Thank you, Born to Be Rad. I appreciate it. Let's see. Oh, hello, Thomas. Thomas is an OG. He's been a supporter of the channel for a long, long time. Thank you so much for dropping in. Yes, From Beyond is incredible. Oh, absolutely. I mean, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein is so much better than the rest of them. It's not even funny. Like, it is. I think Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein is a masterpiece. And, like, I'm not even kidding. Like, yes, I know it's a goofy comedy. It doesn't matter. For what it's trying to be, it is a perfect film. I think it's the best horror comedy ever made. But then the rest of them are near that good. But Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy, it's fun. Abbott and Costello Meet the Killer, pretty fun. Technically, the title of that is Abbott and Costello Meet the Killer Boris Karloff, which is kind of funny. Boris Karloff's name is literally in the title. I haven't seen Abbott and Costello Meet Jekyll and Hyde. So there may be some more that I need to see, but those are the ones that come off the top of my head. Okay, yeah, and I talked about that one. Yeah, it is weird. Oh, okay. I forgot to talk about horror movies I'm excited for this month. So I actually created a little slideshow. So let's just go through. Let's at least start going through this and see what you guys have to say. So the first movie is Azrael, which is technically not an October release, but it came out the very end of September. So I imagine pretty much everybody's going to see it in October. It is at my local theater for now. So I'm thinking about going to see it tomorrow. Sorry, I had to mute myself and burp. So what it is, it's this post-apocalyptic movie that actually takes place after the rapture, which is interesting. The biblical, from what I understand, the rapture isn't really from the Bible. It's more so kind of a legend that started afterwards. But it takes place after the rapture. So there's this religious cult that's kind of running things. And it's starring Samara Weaving. And she was a prisoner and she escapes and she's on the run from them. Reason I'm interested in it is, one, I love Samara Weaving. I think most people probably know her from Ready or Not. She's great in that. I first saw her in Mayhem, this Joe Lynch movie, and she's awesome in Mayhem. So I'm a fan of her. It was filmed in Estonia, like in rural Estonia. And based on the trailer, it seems to all take place in the woods. So I really like that vibe and that atmosphere. And I've heard like the story is kind of hard to follow because it has minimal dialogue unless you're pretty familiar with the Bible and biblical stories, which frankly I am. So I think I might find this very interesting. So I'm very curious about it. Next is Salem's Lot. This is coming out on Thursday, October 3rd. I'm so excited for this. This is the new adaptation, hear that, adaptation of Stephen King's Salem's Lot. I'm a huge fan of the 70s Salem's Lot. I've not read the book. Technically, I did start it a while back and I never finished it. So I probably should get back to it. But I love the story of Salem's Lot and I love small town Stephen King vibes. So I've been excited for this for like, 3 years ever since they announced it. 2 years ever since it was done. This movie got shelved for a couple of years. I didn't think it was ever going to see the light of day. I thought it was going to bite the dust like Batgirl because Warner Brothers has just been slashing movies left and right. But I'm very excited for this. It's dropping on HBO Max on Thursday. So I do plan to do a video on it and I'm very excited for it. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Ooh, we just saw Azrael last night. Super brutal and relentless. I liked it. Cool. cool. I'm excited. I think that's the only comment on that we've got. So let's see. Next up, VHS Beyond. This is coming out on Friday. It's dropping on Shudder. I've heard some reports from Fantastic Fest, where it played, that it's really good. And I'm interested in the VHS franchise, but I find it, of course, extremely uneven. I haven't watched all of them. I pretty much just watch them if I hear they're good. But this one I've heard really good things about, so I am looking forward to it. I will check it out. This is a physical media release. I've got physical media on here. October 8th, Criterion is releasing I Walked with a Zombie and The Seventh Victim on 4K. These are Val Lewton horror films, and I believe, if I remember right, these are the last ones, the last of the Val Lewton horror films that have not been released on Blu-ray. So I've been waiting for particularly I Walked with a Zombie to get released on Blu-ray, because I have a DVD box set of all of these movies, but disc rot is setting in, and my I Walked with a Zombie isn't playable anymore. I can't believe it's getting released on 4K. That is so exciting. I love I Walked with a Zombie so much. Like, I recently rewatched it before I made my top 40s horror video, and I almost went into it like, is this movie really as good as I remember it? And I rewatched it. I'm like, yeah, it is. It's a fantastic movie. And The Seventh Victim's pretty good. It's a very early version of a satanic cult horror movie, but it doesn't actually have much of what you're looking for in a satanic cult movie. It's very subdued and restrained. And it's not great on a character level, but it's pretty good. But I will happily get it alongside I Walk with a Zombie. I'm not going to buy it in October, though, because I just rewatched these and I'm not in a rush. I'll get it in November with the Criterion Barnes & Noble sale. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Terrifier 3. I don't know if people will expect this from me, because this isn't really the kind of thing that I am normally talking about. But I love Terrifier 2. Like, I absolutely love Terrifier 2. Now, I saw the first Terrifier back around when it came out, like on VOD, and I didn't like it. I thought it was just like kind of a blood and guts movie without much point. I rewatched it before Terrifier 2 came out because I was getting excited. I was buying the hype for Terrifier 2, and I liked it a little better. It is pretty well made for what it is, and David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown is really good in it, and I appreciated it more. But when I saw Terrifier 2, I thought it was amazing. Like, I just loved it. And I've watched it again since, and I think it's so good. Like, here's my thing. I'm not normally into horror movies that are just like gore for gore's sake and shock value for shock value's sake, and they're just there to disturb you. It's not really my thing. But I don't really see these movies as that. And I think the reason is they've got such a camp value. They're so over the top that it's fun. Like, it's got this campy quality, also because of David Howard Thornton's fantastic performance as Art the Clown. So I find these movies very enjoyable in a way that I don't find like torture porn type movies to be. I don't really find these movies to be like that. Plus, the main character in Terrifier 2 is awesome. Such a great character. They're so creative visually. They're so creepy. When I was going to the theater to see Terrifier 2, like, I was legitimately nervous, and like, man, I never feel that about slasher movies anymore. Like, they've got something. So I'm very excited for Terrifier 3. I got Thursday night opening night tickets. Buddy of mine are going to go, and we're very excited. This is a mild excitement. Smile 2 on October 18th. I'm interested to go see in the theater if I have time. I thought the first Smile was good. It was good enough. But one problem with it was when I saw it in theaters. I went with my wife, and man, I got the burps now. Okay, I'm to mute myself. So I saw it in theaters with my wife, and okay, this was did it come out in 2021 or 2022? Either way, the pandemic was still kind of in the back of your head, and there was a woman in our theater coughing through the entire movie. And she wasn't like right next to me or anything. She was across the theater, but still, like, I was listening to this woman cough through the entire film. And like, I was nervous. I was like, am I gonna get the COVIDs? And I kept thinking, like, should we leave? And like, through the whole movie, I was like almost ready to just leave. But we sat and we watched the whole thing, and it's a pretty good movie. But I imagine I probably would have enjoyed it more under better circumstances. But this one, it looks bigger. It looks like it could be more fun. And I love this lead actress. Apparently, I don't love her enough to know her name because it's escaping me right now. But she was Jasmine in the Aladdin remake. She was in the Power Rangers movie. She was in the new Charlie's Angels. None of these are particularly great movies, but she's always great in them. And also, I find her extremely attractive. So I'm also interested to see it for her. Let's see. Okay, The Wolfman is coming out on 4K. This is the 2010. It's coming from Scream Factory on October 22nd. This is a little bit of a mild interest because I normally don't upgrade to 4K. I know. I just normally don't. So normally the 4Ks that I have are movies that I didn't already have on Blu-ray because normally I would rather buy a movie I don't have than buy a movie that I already have, but just upgrade to 4K. However, this movie is incredibly visually stunning. Like, it is a gorgeous movie. And the director's cut is on 4K. And that was my main concern because the director's cut is way better than the theatrical cut. The changes are fairly minimal. It's mostly just some added scenes at the beginning, but they really add a lot to the characters. So I watched the theatrical cut and the characters just feel so flat and like I don't care about them. And I watched the director's cut and it's so much better. Like, they just established them so much better at the beginning. So the director's cut's the way to go. And it is on 4K. So I am very excited for it. By the way, thank you so much. Thank you so much, The Boogeyman's Closet. $5 super sticker. I appreciate you. I can't wait to check out your channel. Mr. 3D Print Wizard, money for being late. Keep up the awesome work. Well, that's very unnecessary, but very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is a really good movie, and I think I would like to see it in the best version possible. Plus, the Blu-ray I have is real old. I think it came out around when the movie actually came out. So having a boutique label release, I do plan to get it. Let's see. Okay, we've got Boogeyman Closet. Can't wait for Terrifier 3. Good, we got a Terrifier. I don't know how my viewers would feel about it because I got a lot of old school horror fans, so I don't know. And even me, like, Terrifier 3 doesn't seem like my thing. But it is. It definitely is. Let's see. Joshua Ruth really likes Wolfman. Great spooky vibes, season vibes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, one thing, I added it because of silly me. I forgot about it. I added it to slide after the fact. I guess it didn't come in. But I would just say I'm excited for Nightmare on Elm Street on 4K. Like everybody else, we're all excited for Nightmare on Elm Street on 4K. That's another one that I do plan to upgrade to 4K. It's one of my favorite movies. However, I really wanted the Steelbook and I didn't jump on pre-ordering it right away. And like, it's not even coming out for a couple of weeks, but apparently the Steelbook is sold out everywhere. It's just crazy. I hardly ever get Steelbooks because, like, I just don't pre-order them early enough. I know I should learn. So if the Steelbook, I come across a deal or it gets back in stock somewhere, I'd like to get it, but otherwise I'll just get the regular version. Let's see. Yes. It's not now though. Okay, if Salem's Lot dropped on HBO Max early, like, holy cow. But I'm assuming it comes out on Thursday. That's what I've heard. But yeah, I'm very excited. That was the first one I talked about. Well, other than Azrael. Okay. I'm gonna keep up with the chat a little bit and then we'll go back to that. I got a few more things to talk about. Yeah, I like Oddity a lot. It's the scariest movie of the year. It's not my favorite movie of the year, but it is the movie that creeped me out the most. And it has a jump scare that's like one of the scariest jump scares I've ever seen. Like, it's not that it's such a surprising jump scare or such a loud jump scare. It's one of the most legitimately chilling to my bone jump scares I've ever seen. And like, that really impressed me. That scared the hell out of me. It's a good movie. No, I haven't. No, I don't plan on it. I'm sure it's hilarious. Linnea Quigley. I met Linnea Quigley though. I met her at another horror movie event that I went to in Chicago because they played Return of the Living Dead. I got to see that in the theater, and I got to meet and take my picture with Linnea Quigley, so that was cool. I assume you mean Nightmare on Elm Street, so yeah, good for you. Thank you, Brian. I really appreciate that. I will, absolutely. Yes, I do have a region-free Blu-ray player. It's both a 4K player and a region-free player, which is nice. That'd be incredible. Let's talk. If you're on Instagram, message me. If you're not, you can email me, cobwebspodcast@gmail.com. But yeah, let's talk. I'm very interested. It is intense. Well done. Okay, cool. So if you are interested in the 24-hour horror marathon at the Music Box Theater, I will be there in about a couple of weeks. Your channel is so stress relieving with all the crazy things going on in the world. You might not know, appreciate your content. It is by far the most cozy channel on YouTube. Thank you. I appreciate that. Cozy content on YouTube is like what I value the most. So I like making content like that. And it seems like the more I lean into that, the better the channel does. So I like that. I think it does set my channel apart because there are so many YouTube channels that are, you know, maybe a little more bro-y, more like, yeah, boobs and blood. And I'm just not really like that. So the more I just kind of lean into the kind of weird person I am, it seems to resonate. So it's nice. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Keeping it festive. Hanna-Barbera version of Halloween Tree. Haven't done coverage on it. I have seen it. Funny thing is, I didn't see that as a kid, but I did see like the DVD cover or VHS cover at my video store all the time and just never rented it. I don't know why. Saw it as an adult, thought it was pretty good, but I'm interested in revisiting it. So I would have to revisit it before I really discussed it. Oh yeah. Understandable. I kind of like Chicago though. Stepfather is a great movie. I just revisited after your video. Great movie and terrifying performance by Terry O'Quinn. Good. Chase, so good to see you in here, man. I was just, while I was doing dishes right before hopping on here, I was watching your latest video on 10 terrifying horror movies you need to watch. Good choices. Loved hearing you talk about Ghost Watch for sure. You do have an Instagram. Cool. Yeah, message me. I would be happy to talk about that Steelbook. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate it. Are there any subgenres of or films by certain directors that you want to focus on for future episodes? Well, there's going to be a lot of focus on the Hammer Dracula series for a bit until I finish it. I really wanted to finish it in October. That's just not going to happen. They take too much time. I would have to rush through them if I did that. And I don't want to do that. I like the effort that I'm putting into them. So I want to keep that up. So it'll probably go into November. I don't know what the next review series is going to be yet. So if you guys have requests, I'm interested to hear. But I have some more like I have some more like one-off movies I want to talk about and such, but I'm not sure what the review series is going to be quite yet. Let's see. Just discovered your channel last week. I've been watching like crazy, very cozy and not broy at all. Thanks. I'm not that broy a guy, so it's just genuine. Had surgery recently, was on bedwetch. I binged most of your channel. Oh, Trudy, I appreciate that. I had surgery around this time last year. I had my appendix out late September. So through October, like I couldn't walk very well. It's too bad. But yeah, hope you're recovering well. Recovery from surgery is tough. Surprisingly, just found you last month. Instantly subscribed. My brother and I will be a fan for as long as you put videos out. Love the work. Already making a list of things you suggested. Thank you, Cliff. I appreciate it. The Halloween Tree is my favorite. I just read October Country and Something Wicked This Way Comes from Ray Bradbury. I want to read October Country. I actually haven't. I need to. Man, I wish I had more time to read. I tell you what, it's tough. Like watching movies in general, watching enough movies to keep this channel up and then just keeping this channel up. It is so hard to find time to read. So I get through books very slowly, but I do like to read spooky stuff. Do you like the aesthetics of later 80s horror movies? Yeah, sure. I like the aesthetics of all eras of they are distinct. So I understand why you're saying later, but yeah, for sure. And I like a lot of like the early 90s. I kind of like the early 90s horror because it's so unrespectable. You know, the late 90s, it got a lot more mainstream because of Scream, but the early 90s, it's kind of weird and cheaper and kind of a good way that I like. So yeah, I do like a lot of late 80s horror movies. 1988 is a great year. I mean, that's when Halloween 4 came out. That's when Killer Clowns came out. Of course I'm blanking, but I know there's a lot of 1988. I think, no, that's 1985. Anyway, 88's a good year from what I remember. Yeah, I mean, I just saw Ghost Watch first time last year too, and wow, that thing blew me away. I still regularly get comments though that are like, "Man, I watched Ghost Watch on your recommendation. It was so boring." I'm just like, sorry. I mean, for me, it wasn't even slightly boring, but that's the way it goes, I guess. Matt Draper, hello. Thank you for dropping by. I'm aware of your channel. I was just watching your 31 Days of Halloween video just earlier today, and it's cool to see you in here. I appreciate it. What are your thoughts on Over the Garden Wall and Gravity Falls? Very cozy and spooky. Huge fan of Over the Garden Wall. Funny enough, my son and I just finished it today, right before we put him to bed. He's about 1.5. And I've seen Over the Garden Wall a couple of other times. It's kind of a regular fall time watch, but I watched it with him over like this September. It was so fun. He loved it. He was so into it, and it was great. It was just so great to share that with him. So I absolutely love that show. It is very cozy. It's way spookier than it probably should be because it's for kids, but I like that. I think we coddle kids too much with like everything being so like clean and safe nowadays, you know, but like we can scare kids a little bit. I think that's okay. I got scared by stuff when I was a kid, and I look back on those memories very fondly. So I think that's great. Gravity Falls I've never seen, so I'm kind of interested based on your recommendation. So thank you for dropping in, Matt. If you could choose a sequel to any Hammer horror film to be made, what would it be? Well, I kind of have two answers for you. Sequel, it would be to The Devil Rides Out. Would love a sequel to Devil Rides Out. I would love to see Christopher Lee's character go out and fight more devils, fight more satanic cults. That'd be awesome. Because that's kind of the thing with sequels, right? Like, you probably need to have a character you'd really like to keep following. And when I think of Hammer characters that did not get sequels that I would like to see continue, I think Christopher Lee and The Devil Rides Out. But in general, what Hammer film do I wish had been made? Sleepy Hollow. I think it's such a missed opportunity that Hammer never made a Sleepy Hollow, because Peter Cushing, he like is Ichabod Crane. Peter Cushing would be the greatest Ichabod Crane ever, and there would be no question about it. And it's so sad to me that it never happened, because like Christopher Lee, he could have been the Headless Horseman. You could have had flashbacks to him, you know, with his sword and everything and getting beheaded. You could have had Oliver Reed as Brom Bones. Oh my gosh. You could have had Veronica Carlson as Katrina Van Tassel. Man, it would have been perfect. Like, that's my dream movie, but it's so sad it never happened. See, I think I asked you last year, have you ever had a chance to watch The Midnight Hour yet? Made for TV, perfect cozy Halloween film. Funny enough, I've seen it like several times because my dad is a fan of it. So he showed it to me first. And I just rewatched it a couple of days ago because I will be talking about it in this year's Halloween video. I love that movie. Like, I've always liked it, but like on a rewatch this last time, it made me so happy. I just love that movie. It is a perfect Halloween film. And it is sad. It is sad that it's not on physical media, but I downloaded it off of YouTube. I put it onto a hard drive, so like it's safe. But if it gets released officially on Blu-ray or anything, I'll absolutely buy it. But I understand why it's not, because the soundtrack is probably a beast to deal with. And the soundtrack is incredible. It has so many fantastic songs. I love that era of music that it plays songs from. And I think that's why it's not released on physical media. But yeah, it's an incredible movie. 22 surgeries. Wow, that's a marathon. Like, I'm impressed that you're good on you for keeping through that. Have you seen the movie version of Something Wicked? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, wait. Are you talking to somebody else? You might be talking to oh, yeah, you're talking to somebody else. I gotcha. Oh, and now you're answering. I'm catching up. Yes, I have. You know what's funny about Frailty? Frailty is a movie that like every content creator on the internet talks about as like the underrated, underseen horror film that like you've got to check out. And I'm like, I hear about this movie 12 times a day. Like, everyone talks about Frailty. I don't think it's underrated anymore. I don't mean to call anybody out, but like, I've just over and over again, people are talking about how Frailty is underrated. And I'm like, everybody loves Frailty. Everybody loves it. I like it. Actually, maybe it's underrated by me. I saw it once. I liked it. It wasn't like a favorite for me, but maybe it's due for a revisit. It might be. Yeah, it might be. I don't know. Terrifier 3 never come out. Just the first and second Terrifier is in 3D version. Yeah, Terrifier 3 is coming out in about a week. So I'm excited. Ooh, a bold choice. I wonder how that would go. Be hard to replace Jonathan Pryce, though. Man, he's perfect in that. Oh, yeah. That probably is my favorite horror movie of 1988. I didn't even think about it. But yeah, I love The Blob so much. Cool. Yeah, born 82, right on. 82 is an incredible year for movies. Ooh, copies of Cobweb and Late Night with the Devil. Really looking forward to watching them. Yeah, those are perfect movies to watch in October. You will have a great time. Cobweb has incredible Halloween atmosphere, and Late Night with the Devil is pretty good. Pretty good Halloween atmosphere too. Yeah, I don't think it's on Blu-ray, so I'm kind of stuck on. It seems to always be free on streaming though. Like it's on Hulu right now, which I have, so I've gotten lucky. But I will be sad if it's ever not on a streaming service, and I want to watch it. Dead Silence was a crazy movie for me. I can't stand doll movies. Dead Silence is pretty fun by James Wan. I enjoy it. It's kind of like it's like his trial run for Malignant, and then he made Malignant. His two like craziest movies. Bloody Pit of Horror, fun Italian Gothic madness. Yeah, I think I've heard of that. I haven't seen it though, so thanks for propping it up for me. Kathleen, thank you for talking about Needful Things. It's such a good movie. Have you seen The Lady in White? I'm sorry I've not watched all your videos. Oh yeah, you're fine. I haven't talked about The Lady in White, but yes, I have seen it a couple of times. That is a big favorite for my dad, and it's my mom's favorite scary movie. My mom doesn't like scary movies, but she does love Lady in White. Funny thing is, even though my dad loves it, he never showed it to me growing up. So I didn't see it growing up. I saw it as an adult. And I didn't love it. And I wanted to love it. Like I always think I'm going to love it at the beginning because it has incredible atmosphere. Fall, Halloween, small town, 1960s kind of vibes. Like I just love the way it looks and feels. My problem with the movie is it's got so many plot threads going. Like there's so much going on in that film. I think it's too much. And I think it's kind of unnecessarily depressing sometimes when like I kind of want it to be a little more enjoyable. There's a thing that happens to a certain character in like towards the end of the movie that is so monumentally upsetting to me that like I don't know why we needed to go there. But like I don't know, that's just me, I guess. But it's a movie I'm like determined to love. So like I keep rewatching it like wanting it to totally click for me. I'm not quite there yet, but I do love the atmosphere of it. Child's Play scared the crap out of me as a kid. Didn't help my mom have Cabbage Patch dolls and didn't let my mom have Cabbage Patch dolls in the house. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see it as a kid. I saw it as an adult and I just loved it. I think it's an awesome movie. I think it's phenomenal. But yeah, I've never been scared by it, but I can understand when you're a kid for sure. Review of Funhouse Massacre, a great Halloween movie. It's Robert Englund. I haven't done a review, but I've seen it. I saw it back around the time it came out. But I remember thinking it was okay. It was like pretty good. But it might also be due for a rewatch. I've said that a lot. When am I going to get the time for this? I don't know. Gravity Falls is great. Okay, cool. Might get the music going again. I like not having silence. Let's see. Oh, Matt. Hello. Love your stuff. Would describe Gravity Falls as Twin Peaks meets DuckTales. Okay. Sold. Yeah. Actually, I put out a tweet a long time ago, back when I was active on Twitter. I'm not really anymore. Of like that, like this is Sleepy Hollow. Like this is Hammer Sleepy Hollow. And like today people would probably just create those images with AI, but I mostly use images from Night Creatures. And like I posted a lot of images from Night Creatures. Like this is what his Sleepy Hollow could look like. Cause it's kind of that time period. You've got Peter Cushing and kind of the ponytail look like Ichabod Crane would. You've got Oliver Reed in like kind of a baggy white shirt. You know, it kind of looks like a Brom Bones kind of thing. And yeah, Night Creatures is like kind of as close as we ever got. That would be scarring. I didn't see that at 7 for sure. Let's see. Oh yeah, my mom is super anti-horror, which is funny. She can't handle it. Like she cannot handle watching anything scary. Lady in White is as far as she can go. But my dad loves horror, so yeah, he would show me horror movies. I would be terrified of them. I would go to my mom for comfort. And then one day that stopped because I just started loving them and I didn't go to my mom for comfort anymore. And I think that probably made her sad, but yeah, she didn't love it. Oh, Kenny and Company. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I wish there were more Halloween movies that weren't horror movies, you know, like give us some just like some childhood nostalgia movies around Halloween. Nobody has to die. I like that. I think that's cool. Yes, I have. Yeah, we talked about it on the stream quite a bit. You got the Midnight Hour on DVD? Oh, well done. That's a hard one to get on DVD. So I'm kind of impressed you got it. That's cool. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, they absolutely do. I would love to go. I haven't been to Sleepy Hollow. I would absolutely love to go. It would make me so happy. Yes. The dad is Bill Paxton. It's directed by Bill Paxton. And he's like this dad who says that God told him that some people are demons and he has to kill them. So he like gets his sons to help him kill people because they're demons. But the sons don't really know. Are they demons or is he just crazy? So it's a very interesting premise for sure. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Well, no, I've never heard of that. So that's interesting. Or Family Guy's take on Star Wars trilogy. No, I haven't. I actually did watch Family Guy when I was a teenager, but never since. I like that you guys are talking to each other in here. That's very cool. 177 people in here. I can't believe my eyes. Thank you all so much. You know what? Let me just finish up the stuff I'm excited for. I think I just got a few more physical media things on here. So this is coming from Radiance. I haven't paid a lot of attention to Radiance because they almost exclusively put out stuff like I have never ever heard of. But they are releasing some horror stuff this month in October, and I actually emailed them and asked for review copies, and they're going to send them to me, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to get these sent for review. So I'll definitely talk about them. So the first one is a trilogy of Japanese gothic horror films. I think they're all supposed to be ghost stories. Yeah, there it says Japanese ghost stories there. And the middle one is called The Snow Woman. And I think it's based on the same story that The Woman in the Snow from Kwaidan is, which I'm very interested in because that's by far my favorite story in Kwaidan. So, you know, just talking about, I always wanted to get more into Japanese horror movies. This will be a great place for me. So I'm very excited for this box set. I'm very thankful that Radiance is going to be sending it. They're also sending me I Vampiri. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. Funny thing about I Vampiri, directed by Riccardo Frida, it is the first Italian horror film, period. It's the first Italian horror film, at least in the sound era, for sure. And I've never seen it, so I'm excited by it. And actually, Mario Bava finished the movie. That's one thing I know about it is Riccardo Frida bailed on the movie, and Mario Bava came in and finished it before he had made any of his own movies. So it's like maybe kind of a sneakily directorial debut. But I'm very excited to watch it. And then they're releasing Hoxton, which I've seen and is fantastic. That's one of the silent horror films that I do really like. So I'm happy to have that on physical media. And those are all coming out on October 28th. Oh, and this is my most anticipated physical media release of the month. El Vampiro. This is 2 vampire movies from Mexico. They are classic Mexican vampire films. I Vampiro, and The Vampire's Coffin. I've never seen these, but I've heard they're great, and I'm really excited to check them out. So I pre-ordered this. This is coming out from Indicator. You know what's funny? I used to think Indicator was just like out of my price range because it's cost so much to buy stuff from them because they're in the UK for me and in the US. But then I discovered Diabolic DVD sells them. And I don't know why I didn't check that earlier. So I can just buy this stuff from Diabolic DVD, and it's totally affordable. So I pre-ordered this, and I am so excited to get it. I will definitely review these movies. And the funny thing is, The Vampire, El Vampiro, the first one, it actually came out a year before Horror of Dracula. So I'm curious if it did anything first that Horror of Dracula did first. So I'm curious. So that's my anticipations for the month. Let me know if you guys have any others that I missed. Let's see what else we've got here. Steelbook for the Blob 4K. Cool. I still don't have it in 4K. I still just have the Blu-ray. Boy, yeah, but you just know Disney's never going to do that, right? It's so sad. Like, I don't know why they don't even put it on Disney Plus. And like, why? They put out so much of their old stuff on Disney Plus. They've got spooky stuff on there, so it's not like they're anti-horror. I think they're about to put on Deadpool and Wolverine on there, which is a hard R movie. So like, I don't think they're worried about keeping things family friendly anymore. It's like, why is Something Wicked This Way Comes not on there? Why is Watcher in the Woods not on there? I have no idea. I don't know what's going on. It's so weird. Daniel do a collaboration with Cody Leach. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, maybe one of these days. I don't know. I've been watching Cody Leach for a very long time. Yeah. Yeah, everybody talks about it. It's so wild. I mean, it's just a popular movie now, I think. I think so too. I've loved this year of horror movies, and there's still a lot that I want to check out that I haven't seen yet. So yeah, the past couple of years I just kind of slacked off on watching new horror movies, and I was mostly watching old stuff. Which is, it's lots of fun, but this year I just kind of felt inspired to just keep up with it a little more, keep up with what's going on right now. And it's mostly been great. Like there's a lot of really, really good stuff for sure. Yes, and I will be talking about it in my Halloween video coming up. So look forward to that. But that is a good movie. I'll tell you that right now. It's a good movie. That's a good question. What's the movie that everybody watched today? I have not watched a movie because I'm doing this instead, and I haven't had free time otherwise. But yeah, I would love to hear about it. Controversial take: The Burning is a more well-made version of Friday the 13th. I agree, technically, but I still think I like Friday the 13th more. And I'm not totally sure why. But like The Burning is undoubtedly a good movie, but I don't personally love it, but I like it and I like to watch it. But I think I do like Friday the 13th more. I'm not sure how to explain it. I probably have to watch them back to back or something. That could be an interesting discussion. Yes, I have seen Burnt Offerings. Funny enough, the first time I saw it was at the 24-hour horror marathon I went to in Chicago last year. So I got to see it in the theater. It was awesome. Burnt Offerings is great. And I did place it on my top 20 haunted house movies list that I did last year. Really good movie. Crazy Oliver Reed performance. Super fun. Born 81 here on day 10 of, oh, that stinks. I'm sorry to hear about that. Not bouncing back quite as fast. Yeah, of everyone in my family, not just like, my wife, but also like my parents and my siblings, of everyone that got COVID, I by far got it the worst. Like I got it so bad. I was bedridden for a week. Like I could barely move. I was like more fatigued than I've ever been in my life. And all I did was I watched movies for a week straight, and not even like good movie watching experiences, just like throwing something on streaming because it's there, because like I don't have any energy or strength to do anything else. Um, Gosh, yeah, it was crazy. I'm thankful I only got it once. That's true. Boogeyman's Closet says you should watch Cabin in the Woods. Well, he says you should watch it because that's what AVA Pop Culture says you should watch. Okay, interesting. Yes, I have, of The Wicker Man. And he asked, have you seen the remake of The Wicker Man? You know what's funny? I got some comments on my full core video like, you should have mentioned the remake to The Wicker Man. And I'm just like, really? Why? I don't know if they're joking or not. I don't know if they're bots or not. I wasn't aware anyone liked the remake of The Wicker Man, except maybe ironically. I've seen it. It's not good for sure. And I love Nicolas Cage, but it's definitely not good. But the remake is the original is amazing for sure. Yeah, I think most people would agree with that. Yes, I have seen the WNUF Halloween special, and I just hear about it in my Halloween video. You guys are just kind of calling all of my picks, which is fun. Ooh, Tom Freecheck, 10 out of 10 free checks. Him just being here makes a 10 out of 10 free check. So thank you so much for dropping in, man. You watch Eyes Without a Face. Great choice. Great choice. 9 out of 10 free checks. Your full core list is heavily featured. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, Eyes Without a Face is a great movie. Great French horror film from the 60s. Very, very creepy imagery of that girl with the face. Holy cow. And it's way gorier than you would expect for a black and white horror movie from that era, but it is. Oh, good. Okay, WNF Halloween specials on Shudder. I can't quite reach it, but I have the Terror Vision Blu-ray over there. I don't dress up on Halloween a lot. I'm weirdly not a big costume person. I'm a much bigger decoration person. So I'm way more into decorations than costumes. But I think this year, me and the whole family are going to go as scarecrows, because I love a spooky scarecrow, but also I'm kind of theming my yard off like a haunted farm. Like my mother-in-law has an amazing garden at her house and she grows corn. So she gave me her old corn stalks and I like attach them to the posts outside my house. So I've got corn stalks and I've got hay bales and pumpkins, and I'm going to make it, progressively spookier. So I think we might be scarecrows. Also because my son is obsessed with scarecrows. He's just kind of obsessed with everything remotely Halloween or spooky right now. I hope that doesn't wear off. It's very cool. But he's all about scarecrows. Are there any book to movie adaptations that you would like to see? You know, I read a really good horror book last year called Those Across the River. I believe that's what it's called. And I don't want to say what kind of monster it is, but it's basically like it takes place in like the 1930s, maybe 50s, around that era in this small little town. And it's about this guy who was like a big college professor who got disgraced because he had an affair with like the dean's wife. And she left him and they ended up together and they moved to this little town kind of to escape all that. And he's there to write a book. And there's just all these folk legends about like they have this tradition in this town where they put pigs on a raft and send them down the river to feed them to something, to those across the river, to appease them. And as you find out what it is across the river, it's very cool. It's a good book. I want to make sure I got the title right. Yeah, by Christopher Buehlman. So I would like to see that as a movie or even like a mini series. It'd be cool. My first horror film was Horror of Dracula on TV. That's awesome. That's a great choice. Yeah, mine. I actually I recorded an episode of my first horror film with Sledgehammer Horror recently. It's not out yet. I don't know when it's going to be out, but it was on Dracula 31. So, close. Yeah, AVA Pop Culture. Chase, he just talked about the barn on his video that he put out today. I saw the barn forever ago. I don't really remember it, but he inspired me that I want to check it out again. I'm interested to see the sequel because I never did see the sequel. Whoa, so you're gonna have a lot to talk about on your channel. That's cool. I would be terrified if there were 5,000 people in here. The first time I went live, I was so nervous. Like, it ruined my day. Like, looking forward to being live because I thought, like, no one was going to be here and I was going to be sitting here. I was going to be so uncomfortable. And I was very nervous. But it turned out fine. And every live stream I've done since has turned out perfectly fine. Omar Sinez, I want to say. Oh, let's just say Omar. Dude, I just discovered your channel last month. I've been binge watching all your videos. Great content. Happy Halloween. Thank you so much. Happy Halloween to you. I appreciate it. I don't. I can't imagine managing a Discord. Holy cow. I'd probably have to get some people to help me with that. I'm kind of unprepared for the success this channel has hit. Like, even like my social media apps have become kind of overwhelming now, which is not to discourage anybody from messaging me for sure. And I will get to you. But like, it's just like a lot of added attention I'm not really used to because I did a podcast for a long time with very little interest and suddenly this thing has popped off. So I don't know the first thing about running a Discord channel, but it's an interesting idea. Oh man, there's interest. Holy cow. My first horror exposure was Salem's Lot on TV. Cool. Oh yeah, the brother tapping on the window. That's one of the scariest vampire things ever. And I saw kind of a version of that in the trailer for the new Salem's Lot, and I gotta say it looked pretty good. It looked like they're really going for trying to make vampires as creepy as possible, which is great because, like I said, nobody would make vampires creepy for like 15 years. They were always action heroes, or they were teen romance, or they were a joke. They were supposed to be funny. Like, nobody would make vampires scary. This year, vampires are scary again. It's awesome. Like, the new trailer for Nosferatu. Did you guys see it? I watched it last night. Holy cow. That is one of the best trailers I've ever seen in my life. Like, I can't even. It's like my dream movie. Like, it's like my ideal movie got yanked out of my head and put to screen. Like, I'm so excited for that movie. And they're still holding back Count Orlok. They won't show him, which I'm surprised and impressed. Like, wow, you're really sticking to this. But they're showing his hand, and his hand looks incredible. And they're just clearly trying to make their vampire as scary as possible. And I just love that. Love it. Yeah, really, really cool cover for sure. Yes, absolutely. I love Psych. I actually snuck a Psych clip into one of my videos, like wonder if anyone would comment on it, and I don't think anybody did. But I love Psych. I have ever since I was a kid, and my wife and I are actually doing kind of a little rewatch of it, where like when we get the time, we'll watch an episode of Psych, and it's so fun. We recently watched Scary Sherry. Um, we've gone through, we've seen several of the Halloween episodes, so like that one's good. Yeah, Tuesday the 17th is good. We just watched the werewolf one. I really like the werewolf one. It's a lot of fun. Oh, and the mummy one. Nobody does Halloween episodes like Psych, and it's because James Roday Rodriguez, he's a horror guy, and like he's even directed horror movies, so like he knows how to do a good Halloween episode, and they're great. Psych is so good. Oh, okay. We got Thomas giving endorsement of Bloody Pit of Horror. Cool. I should watch it. And Nasty Porch says both those El Vampiro films are great. Ever see World of the Vampire? Great Mexican horror flick. No, I haven't. I'm very much a beginner on Mexican horror so far, but I really enjoy what I've been seeing. Bloody Pit of Horror was around my gateway film that let me discover the world of Giallo. Oh, cool. Very cool. I'll chase it. The first two Deadpool films are on there already. Oh, on Disney Plus. That's crazy. Because like honestly, like Deadpool and Wolverine, it's R rated, but it's definitely a Disney R rated. Like those first two Deadpool movies are much more adult, like for sure. Like I don't know. I'm on an island where I think like there's no comparison between those first two Deadpool movies and Deadpool and Wolverine. But I got a lot of pushback on my video where I said Deadpool and Wolverine, I didn't like it. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't think the people that watch this channel cared about Marvel, so I was kind of surprised. But yeah. But I think the best Deadpool movie is Deadpool 2. I think it's like the most like a real movie with like a real story and real characters, not just like a joke. I think Deadpool 2 is the best for that. Nice. Love it. Ooh, The Substance. Michelle, thank you for dropping in, Michelle. I certainly recognize you. I really want to see it. I'm so excited to see it. I'm sad I missed it in theaters. Yeah, yeah. I know you had some thoughts on Dark Harvest. Yeah, not a perfect movie, but I think it gets a lot of things right. But I think my biggest issue with it is like CGI is not great. I wish it wasn't so much CGI, but there's enough about it that works for me. Ooh, Darkness Falls. That's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen in terms of I saw it when I was a kid and it terrified me. I haven't rewatched it as an adult though, so I can't really comment on it. Interesting that you say that because I'm wondering which season of The Witch because there's a lot of them. So there's Halloween 3 season of The Witch, great. There's George Romero's season of The Witch, also great. I think that movie's super underrated. There's Season of the Witch with Nicolas Cage, probably not great. I don't think I've seen it. I've heard it's not good, but I'm curious which one. Yeah. So the masks are just thumbtacks. There's thumbtacks in the straps behind them, a thumbtack on each end, and I just stick them into the wall, and that's it. And then as far as backlights, okay, good. Yeah, backlight support. This one, I think this one needs its batteries replaced because you can like almost barely tell it's on there. It used to be brighter. So yeah, I think I need to replace batteries on that. Oh man, Doctor Sleep, incredible movie. I love Doctor Sleep so much. So that's great, especially the director's cut. That's another one where I think the director's cut is far and away the way to go. Ooh, you just watch V. A little slow, but that's interesting. I didn't find it slow, but okay. Yeah, okay. Really dig special effects. Colors look great as well. Getting more into Hammer now because of your channel. Cool. Well, thank you for dropping in, Mike. I appreciate you letting me know about that. Oh, get ready. Get ready. That's a scary movie. That is a scary, scary movie. Have you watched The Visit? Yeah, no, I haven't talked about it. By M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah, I saw it in theaters. I think it's pretty good. It's a good found footage movie. It was a good movie to like get him back into the public graces because he had made a few flops at that point, and he just made like a simple found footage horror movie with some gross out moments, and it's pretty successful. It's not the kind of thing I'm going to get like super excited about, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Absolutely, The Witch has got to be a favorite. Splattercast. What's up, Dylan? I assume. Thank you so much for dropping in. Thanks, dude. Happy spooky season to you. Splattercast is always doing great things. They are hard workers on that channel. They're always pumping out videos. And it was their recommendation of VHS Beyond that put it on my most anticipated list. I'm excited to watch it. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Dark Harvest support. Yeah, I'm guessing you wrote that in before I went on a big spiel about how excited I am for it. Yeah, I'm like over the moon for that movie. I'm so excited. Oh, you're good, David. No worries at all. There's no late, pop in whenever you want. It's all good. This is informal. Oh, okay, good. I'm glad the sequel is coming to TerrorVision because I've been wanting to watch the sequel, but it's not really available. Like some people have seen it, and like I think there was like maybe like a VHS version you could buy for like $40 or something, if I remember right. I do want to watch the sequel. Oh yeah. Yeah, funny thing about Crowhaven Farm. So that's a TV movie from the 70s. I'd never heard of it until I did my video on witch movies last year, and a lot of people are commenting about it. So I watched it. Now it's not really available. Like you can't stream it. You can't buy it on physical media, not that I could find. Because it's one of those 70s TV movies that's mostly lost, but it's on YouTube. Thing is, unlike the Midnight Hour, the quality is horrendous. Like the Midnight Hour looks pretty good on YouTube. Like it's totally watchable. Crowhaven Farm looks really bad on YouTube, but I still watched it and it is good. Like I liked it, but I could just tell like I'd probably like this more if I could see it better. Like if it was decent quality, this would probably be a better experience. So if Crowhaven Farm gets like maybe like a Kino Lorber Blu-ray release, they seem to be doing a lot of TV movies lately. I'll totally buy it and I'll totally give it a revisit in HD. That would be great. I never heard of that one. Okay, interesting. Or would be a great Gothic movie? Is that perhaps oh, it's probably a book. You're probably referring to the book discussion. Okay, cool. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, you'll never know about lost films, It's sad. Yo, we have got the man, the myth, the legend, the dude who loves movies. Thank you so much for dropping in, Cody. I appreciate it. I appreciate you hyping up the like button too. I honestly don't know what the like button does for live streams, but I assume it's a good thing. So sure, hit it. If you ever get a chance to work some nights on a haunted house attraction during the season, I highly suggest. I've done it once. I did it once and I played a mad scientist in it, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun for sure. I got to watch The Barn too, for sure. Yeah, I think a lot of people would like to. I've never read those, but I did watch the movie with Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey. It was like fine, It was okay. It wasn't that good. Oh, thank you for listening, Jason. I don't anymore. I did do the podcast and the channel at the same time for a while. I just couldn't keep up with it. I just couldn't have the time. If it ever happens that I do YouTube full time, and I quit the day job, then I may also do a podcast. But as it is right now, it's just not possible to do both. I do guest on the Film Feast podcast pretty frequently. So if you do want to hear me podcast a little more regularly, subscribe to Film Feast podcast. Because I'm usually on there about once a month. So you can check that out. But I appreciate you listening to that back catalog because I did that podcast for a long time. Yeah, I'm actually in one Discord. It's with very few people. Like it's a very, very small Discord, but it's kind of fun. It doesn't require any work though, because there's not many people there. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know. I don't think it's that hard. I think most people could probably do it. Yeah, I'm sure if you read the books, it's like horrible. And maybe it is horrible. It left my brain, I remember like it being kind of okay. Cool. I love Vinegar Syndrome. Love them. Yeah, right? I don't understand why the Night Flyer isn't available. That's just crazy. That one's on YouTube. It wasn't for a long time, and I wanted to see it so bad, and there was like no way to see it. Then it popped up on YouTube, and I got to see it, and it is real good. I really like it. Really? A Burbs remake? I don't need that. Like, what can you possibly add to the Burbs? Because the thing about the Burbs is it's not dated at all. Like, it completely holds up. Everything about it still works. I can't imagine what you could possibly do. Like, you're gonna get somebody better than Tom Hanks to do the lead role? Really? Are you? I don't think so. I don't need that. Last Voyage of the Demeter. You know what's funny? I have a video on my channel from quite a while ago where I did like a vlog. I did a vlog going to the theater, then coming back to the car and talking about it. I've never done that again, but I did it once, and I did it with The Last Voyage of the Demeter. I thought it was okay. That was another one where my experience was hindered. I'm telling you guys, people hype up the theatrical experience so much. The theatrical experience has a lot of issues. Okay. Like, I've had my experience ruined many times at going to the theater when like I would have had a great experience at home. But I saw it in theaters and the projection was so bad. The movie was almost unwatchable. Like, they just projected it horribly. Like, the colors were off. It was bizarre, but I still watched it. And I thought it was okay. I was disappointed that Dracula is really never Dracula in the movie. He's just a monster, which is okay, but that's not really what I go to Dracula for. And I just didn't think it was super interesting on a story level. There's a reason that that part is only one chapter in the book. Turning it into a whole movie, I'm not sure that was the best idea. But I do really like that director, and I'm rooting for him because he made scary stories to tell in the dark. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Yes, it did. You're right, Jason, but it's way out of print, and like you can't really get it anymore. And I would like it on Blu-ray, you know, like I want that thing in HD. Oh, that's cool. Actually, I'll never watch the first three episodes. Maybe not first few episodes of Creep Show, the TV show. I haven't seen a lot of TV shows. Like, people ask me about TV shows sometimes, and I almost never know. Like, I pretty much stick to movies. Yeah, I hear you. The two that I am still excited for, I am excited for Superman, because I'll always be excited for a Superman movie, you know? Like, Superman will always get me into the theater. And I think I like James Gunn as a filmmaker, and he just seems to be going really classic with it. Like, with the casting and just everything I've heard, it just sounds like there's not going to be any. It sounds like he has no interest in like a new take for a new generation. Like, it seems like he's doing very classic Superman, and that's what I want. You know, that's what we haven't had in a really long time. And so I'm excited for that. And I'm excited for Fantastic Four because I'm a huge Fantastic Four fan. Like, I haven't read a lot of comic books throughout my life, but I have read a lot of Fantastic Four, and I love those characters. And I'm very nostalgic about the 2005 Fantastic Four film because that movie came out when I was like 12, and I was a perfect age for it, and I just super enjoyed it. So I'm excited for a new Fantastic Four, and I like the cast. I think they made a good casting decisions. Cool. No, I watched part of it, and like, I don't know. I don't want to sound elitist, but I was kind of like, I know all this. I don't know. Like, I just felt like they weren't really, it was just very surface level. I don't know, but I didn't watch very much of it, so I can't really judge. You know what's funny? That is one of my dad's favorite movies. He loves 1408, and I like it too. I haven't watched it near as much as he has. I haven't watched it in years. I love the ending to that movie, which I think is kind of controversial because there's an alternate ending that you can watch on the DVD that a lot of people prefer, and I don't. I think the theatrical ending is like really impactful. It's got some creepy stuff, and I really like how they use the Carpenter song, We've Only Just Begun. It's pretty cool. Oh, okay. Right on. I have it on Blu-ray. I've only seen Poltergeist 2 once, and I thought it was pretty good, but not enough to upgrade to a 4K for me. Oh, Habit. I read that as The Hobbit first, and I thought you were joking or something. The Hobbit. Great vampire movie. Yes. Yes, I have. And I did a video on my top 90s vampire films, and I did talk about it there with Larry Fessenden. I think it's good, not great. It's not quite my kind of vampire movie because, you know, it's very much like very ultra realistic with it. And like, oh, is it really vampirism or is it all in their mind? And I don't really like that game. I would prefer monster movies to just be monster movies, but it is good. Larry Fessenden is great in it. I do like Larry Fessenden a lot. Good. I was hoping you would say that. Yeah. Oh, good. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. I love that movie. I wasn't expecting much from it because I never hear anything about it. And I watched it because I've just been watching more George Romero movies and was floored by it. I thought it was great. Like such a great movie. I think it deserves more love. I like it. That's a great theme for Halloween. Which movies? Absolutely. Oh, you caught the psych reference. Cool. What are some of your favorite wholesome horrors? Something like Scooby Doo, but for adults. Would love a top 10 list like this. I do want to do a list on like kid friendly horror movies or kid friendly Halloween movies because I'm actually really passionate about that. I love like kids, family friendly, spooky movies. Um, I just love that kind of stuff. Like I love Casper so much. And I made fun of on this channel some for loving Casper because like I made a video on my top haunted house movies and I put Casper on there. And some people were not happy with that, but I love Casper and I just love it more the more I see it. And my son loves it too, which is great. Oh, absolutely. My one fear with the new Salem's Lot in the trailer seems to have a lot of CG. I like a good blend of CG with practical effects, but too much can take me out of the moment. Yeah, I'm not sure. I only watched the trailer on my phone. So like it's not like I saw it in the theater or anything. So I may not have been able to really tell. I didn't notice that, but again, just on my phone. So I'll have to see how it looks when I actually watch the movie. Oh, cool. Michelle says, I had the privilege of seeing Osgood Perkins talk about long legs over the weekend. He was also telling us a bit about filming the monkey. And oh man, it sounds awesome. I'm excited to see that. Yes, I'm really excited for the monkey. I like that trailer. It's just very ominous, doesn't really tell you much. But anything Osgood Perkins does, I'm in, like he's definitely one of my faves right now. Very excited. Dark Tower, I assume. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I have no doubt. I pretty much am these days. I didn't used to be, but I just felt like I found my groove when I just started doing only horror videos. And it's just like, it's what I enjoy deep diving into the most. And it's what I enjoy like making videos about the most. And I just like making videos that are kind of spooky, Cause like I also really enjoy comedies, but like what would I do if I did a video on comedies? Like it'd be pretty basic and I don't know what I would really analyze, like because comedy is just like a comfort genre for me, but horror is what I really like to study, so that's what I more so make videos about. But if there comes like a non-horror topic that I really want to do, I'll do it. I won't feel tied down to horror, but right now I just really want to make horror videos. That's just what I'm enjoying doing lately. I assume that's a boutique label. I haven't heard of that. Put out several Mexican horror DVDs, I think, with subtitles, including World of Vampires. A lot of titles on eBay. Oh, okay, cool. The music stopped again. I think I'm going to put on different music this time. What do we got here? That sounds nice. Let's do that. Let's see. Every time I go to a different tab and then I go back to chat, I've lost my place. Here we go. Would you consider 1970s movies like Prophecy and The Swarm more sci-fi than horror? I am so glad you brought up Prophecy. I can't believe you just brought that movie up. I adore Prophecy. It is such an awesome movie. The bear attack like eco horror film from 1979. That movie is awesome. I would consider it horror for sure. I mean, it's an eco horror film. It's got monsters for sure. I haven't seen The Swarm, but it did just get released on Blu-ray by I think it did. No, I'm thinking of Squirm, but I haven't seen Swarm, so I can't speak to it. But Prophecy for sure. Paramount, like, okay, I said earlier in the stream, I don't know if you were here, that this month I'm doing my top 30 70s horror films. I'll tell you what, Prophecy is going to be on there. And I think some people won't be happy about it. They'll be like, what, Prophecy over this? But Prophecy it's awesome. I love it. Paramount Scares Volume 2 is on the way. I subscribe to Vinegar Syndrome. Subscribe to Vinegar Syndrome. Cool. Yeah, I'm subscribed right now. And I enjoy it. It's fun. I don't know if I'll do it again, but it was a fun thing to try. But Paramount Scares Volume 2, that's cool. I haven't bought either of those sets. Hello, Stacy. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, I've gotten so many comments recently of people that are like, "Rose Red is great. You should watch Rose Red." Um, I haven't seen it, so I know it's a mini series, but I'm curious. Oh, cool. Well, first of all, welcome. Two recommended Cry Wolf and Hoosiers, both great. God, that's awesome. Cry Wolf has such a bad reputation. People act like it's terrible. That movie is super fun. Like, I don't know what people's problem is. Like, I even got a comment recently that was like, I cannot believe that you would push such a horrible movie as Cry Wolf. And I'm like, what is horrible about it? Like, I think it's really fun, great atmosphere. It's if you're going into it like I want a scary horror film, Cry Wolf is not that really, but it's a fun movie. And Hoosiers, yeah, Hoosiers is just a solid sports drama. Almost more so just like a school drama than a sports drama. Yeah, it's completely timeless. Like what are you going to do? Like there's nothing to update, you know? I don't understand. It's perfect. And it's perfect. Absolutely. Let's see. Hello, Melanie. My fiance and I have been making the most of fall with your recommendations. They've not disappointed. That's great. I've got another fall video coming to my September watch list video, and I watched another fall movie, a non-horror fall movie, and I just loved it. So I'll be talking about that. That'll drop in a couple days. A Misery remake? The Weekend will be playing a singer held captive by a psycho fan. Interesting. That's another movie that's pretty timeless. Like, I don't know why you would watch Misery and being like, but that's just kind of what that's the thing with remakes, right? I mean, usually I don't feel like they need a remake, but they do them anyway. So okay, sure. My thing with remakes is like I usually just don't care about remakes, like one way or the other. Like I often don't even watch them because I just don't care. Because a lot of times the point of a remake is okay, now it's new. Like now you can watch the story, but you don't have to watch some old thing. Now you get to watch something current. And obviously that doesn't matter to me. Like I don't care about that at all. So there's not really a reason for me to watch them most of the time. But there are a lot of remakes I like. I've thought about doing a video on like remakes that are not better than the original, but are still good. Because I think that's a good topic. Because a lot of times people talk about the two extremes with remakes that are better than the original, or remakes that are horrible. But like, what about the in between? Like, it's not better than the original, but it's still good. There's actually quite a few movies that fit that. Yeah, it didn't really work for me. I was disappointed. I wanted more. The Relic. I don't think I've seen that. I think there's a couple of movies called Relic. There's like a monster one and there's a ghost one. The ghost one I just got from Scream Factory actually, and I haven't watched it yet. Yeah, I kept waiting because like I went into that movie and I knew what he looked like from the trailers, but I was like, "Ooh, at a certain point in this movie, he's going to turn into Dracula and it's going to be awesome." Never happens. And I was like, "Ah, okay." Spoilers, I guess. I'm sorry. Yeah, no kidding, right? I don't understand why they don't. It doesn't make any sense to me. Hysteria with Bruce Campbell. I haven't heard of that, so I'm curious. One horror movie that with the title almost like Hysteria that I'm very excited for, but it's not coming out in October. It's coming out in very early November. Is Heretic? It's a new A24 horror film with Hugh Grant. I'm a big fan of Hugh Grant, and I've heard amazing things about that movie. I'm very much looking forward to it. Oh, Black Sunday, Mario Bavas. Very cool. Good to see you, horror gang. You are one of my kindest supporters. I really, really appreciate you. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it's a creepy movie. Carpenters, right? Good stuff. Yeah, that I would probably say me too. Those are probably my 2 favorite Carpenter movies, with The Thing very close behind. I love Carpenter. Also in my September watch list video, I'm talking about a certain Carpenter movie that I've never talked about on the channel that is, like, hated, but I really like. So, I'm curious what you guys will think about that. Yeah, it's definitely very good. Definitely. It was pretty high on my best of the 1940s video. Um, it's one of Boris Karloff's best performances for sure. Like he really gets to sink his teeth into a meaty, very pretty sadistic role. It's a good movie. Huh. I thought I had heard of a movie called Nightlife, but I'm not sure. I didn't think it had Ben Cross, and I didn't think it was a vampire movie. So no. Oh, I think I'm thinking of the Nightlife with the space in between. But no, I haven't heard of that, but I'm interested because Ben Cross, speaking of him as a vampire, he played Barnabas Collins in the revival Dark Shadows series. So watching him be a vampire again would be pretty cool. Good choice. Very, very good movie. Very good. Oh yeah, I love the Funhouse. That movie's awesome. Long legs, I assume. Yeah, definitely a creepy movie. All right, we're almost at 2 hours. So, but I'm gonna keep looking through the chat. Oh, that's the Simpsons thing, right? I never watched The Simpsons, but I did put on one of their Treehouse of Horror like in the background one day just because I wanted something Halloweeny on, and it was pretty fun actually. So maybe I've been missing out all these years. Definitely The Wolfman, 1941. For sure. For me, nothing else comes close. Like nothing comes close to that original The Wolfman. I think it's a top five movie for me, I would say. Thank you, Angie. I really appreciate that. Oh, I don't even remember that. Interesting. 1992 Oh, no, I haven't, and I had never heard of it, but I put out a video on my top 15 Frankenstein movies, and people were talking about that. Randy Quaid? Never heard of it. So I still haven't really looked into it, but that's very interesting. See you, Ben. Thank you so much for dropping in. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that's kinda my dream. Yeah, for sure. Because like, other genres, I more so just watch they're more so just, like, turn my brain off movies, just, like, when I just wanna relax, but what I really wanna dig into, it's definitely horror for me. I love all of those movies, so those are fantastic choices. Wolfman, Curse of the Werewolf, Silver Bullet, fantastic. I do too. I love Paul Naschy's werewolf movies. I still haven't seen them all, and one of these days I wanna do a ranking of all of them. I don't know who's gonna watch that video, just weirdos like us, but I would love to do it because I love Paul Naschy. Oh, Mandy, good choice. Well, first of all, welcome. Thank you so much. Yeah, Mandy's terrific. I actually got to see that in a theater, which was particularly cool because I live in the Midwest, not in a major city. So I don't get like movies like that in theaters too often, but I got to see that theatrically. It was very cool. Those are great choices. All 70s. Yeah. Yeah, I should check it out. That's something I never really heard about. And I've recently got so many comments on my haunted house video like, "Where is Rose Red? I can't believe you wouldn't put that on there." I'm just like, "Wow, I hadn't seen it. Gonna have to look it up." Also, it's not a movie technically. It is a mini series, but apples and oranges, I guess. Whew, scrolling through. I probably will have to log off fairly soon, get some sleep for work. Oh, okay, interesting. Oh, okay, we got another super chat. I gotta pay better closer attention to this. I'm sorry, guys. Where do you rank Omen 2 Damien? So I haven't seen all the Omen movies. I've just seen the first one, that one. So I've seen the sequel and then the first Omen. I would put Omen 2 at the bottom because I thought it was okay. I think the original Omen is a masterpiece. Man, I absolutely love it. That's going to be very high on my 70s horror list. And I think the first Omen is quite good. And I thought the Omen 2 was okay. Is that a werewolf thing? No, I haven't heard of it. Interesting. Between The Thing, The Fly, and The Blob, which one is your favorite? That's tough. I would say The Thing. Those are all amazing movies. Um, I don't even know how to choose between The Fly and The Blob. Those are like probably the three greatest horror remakes of all time. I think that's probably indisputable. Well, you only asked which one is your favorite. You didn't ask for a full ranking, so I'm just gonna say The Thing. No, not The Ward. It's not modern, I'll tell you that. It's not one of his more modern movies. Um, The Ward is quite bad. I don't care for it. I do like Escape from LA, but that's not the one I was talking about. Oh, thank you, Matt. I appreciate that so much. You were very kind. Favorite Ray Harryhausen film? You know, it's kind of a weird one, but I know exactly what it is. It's The Golden Voyage of Sinbad. That's the second Sinbad movie. It's from the 70s. Um, it's got Caroline Munro. It's so fun. Like, it is such a fun, swashbuckling adventure movie. Um, I really like the guy who plays Sinbad. His name is escaping me. John Philip Law. That's it. He's a really good Sinbad. Carolyn Monroe is gorgeous in it. It's got really cool monsters. Oh, and Tom Baker is the villain too. That's definitely my favorite of the Sinbad movies, but I like the Sinbad trilogy. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. I think it already is. It's on streaming, so you can rent it now, at least in the US. I'm not sure what country you're in. But yeah, you can stream it now. But I'm really excited for I hope there's gonna be a physical media release. You know what? I'm gonna grab some. You know what horror movie I that's came out this year that I didn't expect to get a physical media release? Like, I honestly thought it was just gonna be dumped, just lost on streaming, but it wasn't, is Frogman. I got Frogman from TerrorVision at Walmart. At Walmart. Isn't that just crazy? Actually, a buddy of mine, he found it and he picked me up a copy. So is my if my pocket knife was around here, I was gonna cut it open, but it's not. But yeah, I'm so excited of Frogman on physical media. This is actually the first 2024 horror film that I bought physically, which is kind of weird. Like, why would you get Frogman before Longlegs or something like that? Honestly, it's because I don't expect this to be available for long. So I wanted to get it while I could, and it was only like $17. It's pretty cool. I really like that movie. Let's see. My favorite Ray Harryhausen film, The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, that's just a classic giant monster movie, you know. Cool. Yeah, I need to do it. But see ya. Thank you so much for dropping in. I did mention it. Yeah, I'm very excited. It's dropping on Thursday, so I'm pumped. Oh, it's on YouTube. Okay, cool. Cool. You know what's funny? I think I played that. I'm not very good at werewolf games. Werewolf games? What am I saying? We can talk about werewolves a lot. Board games. But a buddy of mine is really into board games, and I think we played it once. It was a long time ago, though. Absolutely, I do. My favorite is I Walked with a Zombie. I think that movie is incredible. We watch more movies and nap. I work. I work a lot. Well, I mean, I have a full-time job. Thankfully, I don't work overtime, which is nice. So it's just a normal full-time job. Um, and then I work on this channel quite a bit. And then I try to make sure my wife and son feel loved as well, give them some time. So it's pretty busy, you know, busy life. Good morning from Austria on my way to work. Oh, very, very cool. Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed the full core video. Thank you so much. Yeah, people are talking a lot about the barn. I'm curious to give it a revisit. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've got 3 Cobweb shirts. They're all available in my TeePublic store. There's a link to that store in the description of my videos. It says merch, and there's a link. I tell you what, none of those shirts are selling like the Cobwebs Coffee Club shirt is, and that's the one my wife designed. The other 2 I designed. They're more basic, but my wife made the Cobwebs Coffee Club one, and that shirt's been selling a lot lately, which is pretty cool. So I think that's the popular one. Gotta go to work. All right, see you, Thomas. Thank you for dropping in. I believe it was Amazon. My wife bought them for us. They're matching pajamas, so we all have them, and I believe she got them on Amazon. Yeah, I bet if you watched The Exorcist young, I actually didn't see it till I was an adult. Let me see if I missed any super chats. No, I did not. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna wind things down. So I appreciate you all so much for dropping in. Yeah, this was a really fun live stream. I can't believe how many people showed up. That just blows my mind. So thank you all so much. On Thursday, my September watch list video is dropping. Not long after that, I've got a couple of reviews dropping too. And my next ranking video will be my Halloween movies video. So yeah, lots of fun in the future. Thank you all so much. I just can't say how much appreciate it. Thank you also to my patrons. Those people are amazing. And I'll see you next time.